Did you see the trailer to Sonic 3? Are your kids the type of kids that would go see a Sonic movie?
No, they haven't really seen it. I haven't seen any of the Sonic.
Really?
I haven't seen any of the Sonic movies. I don't know why. I just haven't. I guess Sonic isn't my town. It's not my country. I played the games, obviously, but they look good. I think after they redesigned Ugly Sonic, they seem like they're servicing exactly what the fans want.
Who's there?
Yeah, and that Ben Schwartz guy is a really good voice for Sonic.
Good times.
I think Sonic in 2020 culture is a little tough because he's a product of the 90s. He's like a Bart Simpson type.
Just take it. Take it, take it, take it, take it, take it. Take it.
So you could have him be overly radical or you could invent some new thing for him. So I think that guy's voice lends a nice balance of kind of like childhood mischief, which Sonic has, and like a kindness and like an openness and a flexibility.
We got a rogue alien on the loose. How do we find it?
Start with the giant fireball?
I love it. Let's start with a giant fireball.
There's kind of like an earnestness about Sonic that I haven't seen in previous versions of Sonic that he lends to it.
That's good.
Which makes for a better movie because now he's a more fully fleshed out character that can have like an actual arc. Like, and it really is about him. Like in the first movie, it's really about him being a kid and finding family because he's like quite young in that one. And then the next one, he meets Tails and Knuckles. But as we go on, it feels like more and more they're getting distant from the kind of adapted version of Sonic where, you know, Jim Carrey is Robotnik for some reason. And, you know, like and James Marsden is in it for some reason. And now they're just kind of slowly becoming like a fully realized Sonic property. Like Tails is just voiced by the woman who does Tails in the games, for instance. So,
oh, really? I didn't even know that.
They're not trying to like continuously innovate on it. So anyway, the new trailer, it's your typical third movie. We were going along with the new status quo when Shadow shows up and he kicks all our asses. And they also reveal that Robotnik will be back as like an ally this time. And like, I don't know why we're doing this, but for some reason in the first two movies, they didn't make Robotnik fat. It's like his like primary quality is that he's egg-shaped and they had him be a skinny guy. And so in this one, he's fat, but as far as I can tell, he's not fat enough. I'm like, he needs to be quite fat.
Yeah, he needs to be round. But you know what I like about just Jim Carrey doing that? It's like, didn't he like retire, but he always comes back for Sonic? There's something fun about that, where he's like, I'm down to clown in the Sonic movies, even though I don't do anything else.
You haven't seen Jim Carrey be this good in a while than in the Sonic movies. He's having fun in these things. It looks very much like it's going to follow the Sonic Adventure 2 plot, with Shadow was created by Robotnik's great-great-grandfather or something, and there's like a girl involved, or I don't know, whatever the fuck that anime plot was in Sonic Adventure 2. It looks like some of that's here.
What's that? Is that you, Sonic? Are you trying to spoil my plans again? Wait a minute. You're not Sonic. This is impossible.
For my kid's sake, I hope Amy Rose is in it. I think that would be a nice... like, all the designs look really good. The CG looks really strong. I mean, of course I'll go see it. I never saw that Knuckles show. I didn't really hear much about that. The Paramount Plus Knuckles show.
Yeah, no, nobody talked about it.
Well, most people think I'm a joke.
I do not make jokes. I make warriors.
And I noticed too, there's an interesting little like development project. It's not the entire game, but somebody made a prototype Sonic CD on Genesis hardware.
Oh, I see.
I was doing like the, you know, that meme of like looking at all the numbers flying by her. I was like, it gave me pause where I was like, why would that be beneficial or interesting in any way whatsoever?
Just to prove that you can.
Yeah, that's really all it is. I don't know what the status of it is, but somebody was working on porting the Simpsons arcade game to Genesis. Now that actually would be beneficial because then you could play it on your EverDrive and you could play it on your CRT a little bit more easily. Whereas I'm like, well, I can play Sega CD. That's not really a major problem. But it's interesting. If you look it up and you look at their little trailer of what they've done so far, you're like, oh yeah, that's the Genesis. That's definitely the Genesis. That looks more like Sonic 1 than it does Sonic CD, like for sure. There's like a softness about it. There's like a, I don't know how else to describe it, like a softness that, whereas like the Sega CD had like a little bit of a sharpness. The fuck am I talking about? I don't know, but it makes sense to me.
You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.